This is the 2024 African Professionals Network of Ireland Career Day, one event centered around building a good network for African professionals right here in the city of Dublin, Ireland. From beautiful and insightful conversations from the industry professionals to really innovative panel sessions helping to define career paths.
And realizing that everyone has a different story to tell, I find that pretty exciting.
Hello everyone, and a big warm welcome to LinkedIn. It's hard to believe, but it's already been a year since our last APNI.
How are we getting on? Lads, you're not allowed to be nervous. I'm the one here. So we'll try that again. Is that okay? APNI 2024, how we all feeling? Thank you. Thanks for making my job much easier. So we're gonna do something really quickly before I start introducing myself, because I know you probably don't give a rat's about who I am, right? So I just want you to just look to somebody on your left or somebody on your right and just say, you look amazing, because you do. Today, we have a wonderful lady that will be talking through the personal style and branding talk. So you're going to learn how to market yourself on LinkedIn, not in the way that people start talking about, oh, I'm so proud to have engaged in a product that was so amazing a couple of years ago, when in reality, you're talking about a driving test you passed. Do you know what I mean? So you don't want to be doing any of that. So then we'll walk through the panel, which will talk through the impact of mentorship. There will be a Q&A session, because that's where you guys thrive the most. So I hope you're feeling a little bit warm, because you have to have a couple of questions for people so that you can get your desired end goal. And then, of course, the reason you're here, we'll finally go through a networking with recruiters and dinner. Do they get something to eat as well today? Are you sure? All right, so there's a dinner for all of you as well. How you feeling? Sounds good. Well, listen, the reason I'm here today is because there's a special somebody that required me to be here, and I had to say yes. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the president of APNI, APNI Inyang. You feeling good?
Yeah. Thank you, Innocent. Isn't he doing a fantastic job? No, is he doing a fantastic job? Thank you. Welcome to the third APNI Career Day. When we started our conversation with LinkedIn in 2022, we never imagined that we're going to be having the third edition of what you see today as a dream that has come true for us on the APNI team. So as Innocent mentioned, my name is APNI Inyang. I'm not going to bore you with my career history, but one thing I love to say is that I am the first female president of the African Professional Network. Yes, thank you so much for that. And if you don't know what APNI does, yes, we run events like today, but our mission and vision of APNI is to create a platform where people who look like me and you, right, to connect, to collaborate, and to empower each other, essentially helping us to advance our career, whatever that ambition may look like. So on behalf of the APNI team, obviously, yes, I get to stand here, look fancy in my nice outfit, but all of this that you see today has been made possible because I have a great team behind me. You see the companies that are out here you're talking to. We have a partnership team that takes on meetings during their lunch breaks, during their holidays, just to make this happen. We are all volunteers. So can we give a round of applause to the APNI team? So thank you very much. So on behalf of the APNI team, it's such an honor to welcome you to what is the third version of Career Day. So whether you're a graduate, you're a seasoned professional, if you're joining us online, hello, online audience. If you're a sponsor, if you're a vendor, it is so great to have you here today. None of this would happen if you're not here. It would just be boring. We'll just be looking at ourselves. So thank you so much for showing up. So like I said, if you stand where I am today, what I see as bright individuals, right? With so much ambition, so much passion, so much skills. So just like we did with Innocent, turn to the person beside you and give them a round of applause, because This is not just a testament of your support to what we do at APNI, but it's also an investment, into your own selves, right? It took a lot of effort for you to get up this morning, put on your outfit and come in. If you're shy, if you're an introvert, it took a little extra step to say, hey, I'm gonna be out here to network, so I see you. So applaud yourself for showing up regardless, yeah? So today's Career Day is not just an event, right? We're not just chat, connect, but as a thank you, right, to the APNI team, we encourage you to make yourself memorable. Make sure that you make an impression as you go out to talk to the company. Utilize the opportunities that are here. We're gonna have the panel conversations later on. We're gonna have headshots for you. We're gonna have CV clinics and the likes. Make the most of the opportunity that is right in front of you today. And if you're looking for career advancement, in your current field, you want to explore new opportunity, expand your network, there's so much possibility in this room today. So do not limit yourself. Do not think, oh my gosh, oh, maybe it's Google. Google might not be hiring someone from my skill. That's just an example. But think beyond, the sky is, well, not your limit, your starting point, right? So I did talk about the goal of APNI, so I'm gonna skip that. But what I would say is a membership director would love that you sign up. If you're not a member, I had to say that, but if you're not a member, there are other perks and benefits of being an APNI member, which again, you get access to events like this, but also we have our career accelerator programs, our mentorship programs that again, these are tools and these are resources that will help you advance your career. So again, back to today's event, right? My advice, like I said, is listening, speak up, approach people, engage, right? Connect with recruiters and make sure you make the most of this opportunity. And I put this in caps, like leave a lasting impression as you talk to companies. And this month is Black History Month, right? Right, we know? Yeah, anybody knows what this month's theme is? No? Okay, that's fine. That's why I'm here. So reclaiming narrative is pretty much the theme for Black History Month. And I was going to say if you're a Black person in this room, but yes, you are. We know that for so long, not just our stories have been told by others, and they've also been not represented properly. So the theme of this month is very important for us to not just take on narrative that have been imposed on us, but be very proactive in terms of claiming our story. So today and throughout this month, we will celebrate the importance of reclaiming our own narrative and telling our own stories. So stay on in contact on our website. We have an event next week, Thursday. So before I hand over and invite Andrew, just one thing for some of you we have seen online, there's a survey that was released earlier on that not just reflects the ambition and the talents within our community. We had seen that about 67% of our community are postgraduate degree owners. Can you believe that? 42% have between 5 to 10 years work experience. But the shocking thing is that only 39% are actually employed in a role that reflects their qualifications and education. Right? I can see some people shaking their head and be like, yeah, exactly. That should not be the case. That's why the role here that we have at APNI is very important, that we run events like today. And one thing as well to point out from that survey was the call from our community to have more representations at leadership levels, specifically in the C-suite. So we hear what those challenges are. And that's why, again, what we do here at APNI is very critical and very important. So APNI Career Day is pretty much a testament to three things, right? Teamwork, collaboration, partnership. And one important thing is passion for our community. And all of this we do would not be possible without the help of our dedicated partners like LinkedIn, Google, Zurich, Jackson Square Aviation, Kellanova, Idea Island, MSD, Enterprise Mobility, Bank of Ireland, Coursera, don't worry, the names are still coming, Metronics, DocuSign, and dedicated sponsors are Viva, Grant Thornton, JP Morgan, Irish Life, Vodafone, Salalum, and community supporting partners like UCD, who are actually sponsoring a prize today for free and all expense paid for course, and Fragment, and lastly but not the least, Black Therapist Island. So thank you to all our sponsors for backing our vision, for backing our mission. Yes, that's what we want to hear. Thank you. Like I said earlier on, this is the 3rd edition of Career Day, and for 3 years, LinkedIn has stood side by side with APNI as a headline sponsor, putting its brand, its team, its resources, and its scale, right, behind our mission and our vision. Not only do they do that, they exemplify what allyship means. Allyship not based on policies and talks, but actions, right? And I'd like to extend a heartfelt thank you to LinkedIn's leadership, which is Sue Duke. She's not here with us. Yes, that's fine. Give a hand of applause. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Just again, give you a bit of insight. Believe it or not, our team have only been in the LinkedIn building twice this year to organize Career Day, but LinkedIn again has been so supportive throughout the planning and making sure that today goes on successfully and well for you. So on that note, I would like you to please, I want that clap to be very thunderous, right? You know when thunder sounds like everywhere shakes. So I need to applaud and give a massive welcome to LinkedIn Andrew Mu, who flew nearly 300 miles, not 3,000 miles, because it's from London, to be with us here today. Woo!
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for the wonderful welcome.
It's great to have you here, Andrew. So we have this internal joke, right, in the APNI team that you get to see Black folks, right, in 3 places, right? 1, in their places of worship, right? 2, Ashake or Burna Boy's concert. Yeah. 3, guess where? Right here.
Right here.
Right here.
Right
so what
here.
does it mean for you to walk into the building and see this, ambitious individuals?
Not just ambitious, I mean, they look amazing.
Woo!
Right? You look amazing. Look at all of you. This incredible talent that we have here in this room. We're so, so grateful. Thank you so much for coming. This crowd is huge. They told me to come and they said there would be a few people. This is not what I was expecting. This is so much more. I would say to you, you are so, so welcome to LinkedIn. This is fast becoming an annual event here, and one that we are incredibly proud of. For those of you who don't know me, as Adima said, I'm Andrew Monu. I'm Senior Director of Marketing at LinkedIn. I've been here for 10 years, almost. Hard to believe. And I'm based in London, but I come to Dublin a lot. And it is a special place that feels like a home away from home for me. So coming here is incredibly special, especially when I have days like today. So thank you for having me. I will also say about myself, from a personal perspective, speaking of home away from home, I am an immigrant. I'm a proud immigrant. I am from Lagos, Nigeria, born and bred. But one thing I will say is I left Nigeria, I went to the UK to build my career, and there were a couple of things that I really struggled with. One was I found it very hard to find my community. The second thing was I didn't know anything about networking. And if there had been an APNI event that was happening, I would have been all over it. What you have today is a gold mine. It is a testament to what LinkedIn and APNI have been able to achieve together. It is evidence that when you move beyond allyship into action, you can really change things and have aspiration become reality. That is what today is.
See, Edima sent me a text this morning and said, I hope you have your Agbada on. I should have just come with a little bit, I think that would have helped me a little bit, but look, it is what it is. Like I said, it's going to be an action-packed day for you. So again, listen, lads, keep me honest, okay? So next up on the agenda, in this particular talk, we have a young lady that is a life and style coach, and she's also a senior consultant at KPMG. What she's here to do is to guide you on how your wardrobe can elevate your confidence and boost your self-image in corporate settings, which is This is the actual theme of her slides today. Is dress the part, be the part. Can you just say to somebody, dress the part, be the part? Dress the part, be the part. So if you're wearing Palm Angels or Hood Rich, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. Well, listen, without further ado, please help me in welcoming Surbi.
Thank you for the very warm welcome. And I love the energy in this room and the amount of effort that has been put in to today. And today I'm going to be talking about dress the part, be the part. Can I just have a quick show of hands from this room about how many people have dressed their very best today? That's interesting. And we are going to revamp that completely by the end of this talk today. A little bit about me. I am a certified life coach, personal shopper, and image consultant trained with the Irish Life Coach Institute and the Irish Style Institute. I'm also a senior technology consultant at KPMG, and I have my brand called the Charisma Coach, and I help you attract and magnetize opportunities by becoming the best version of yourself from the inside and out. I invite you to think of a company. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of a company? How do you connect with this company, and what makes you connect with this company? Just take a moment to think. Would anybody like to just give me an answer just out of their thoughts? Anyone want to shout? Yeah? Apple. And why do you connect with Apple? Simplicity. Perfect. The first thing that you think of when you think of Apple is probably their logo, and their logo is gray. So the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of a company is the color. How do you connect with this company? It's usually with a website or a social media platform. And why do you connect with this company? Is to solve a problem because they add value into your life. Apple adds simplicity and it adds a bit of ease into your life, and that's why you make connection with Apple. Similarly, you are a company. Your personal style is your packaging. Your CV is a way to make connection with you. And your skills are the way you add value into any organization or in your daily life. You are the face of your brand. Even if you don't work for a company right now, even if you don't own a company right now, you are the face of your own personal brand. Dress for the job you have and not for the, just dress for the job you want and not for the job you have. This is something we've heard over and over again. But what does this mean? It doesn't mean that you dress like a nurse if you're a consultant, but it means that you dress your best for that particular job because you love what you do and you value what you do. The importance of image. Why is it that image is so important? Why do we care about how we appear and how we present ourselves? It's because the way you carry yourself can exude a sense of confidence, charisma, so that you can attract opportunities and unlock opportunities into your life. And also it makes you memorable and it commands respect everywhere you go. How you carry yourself in the world is a reflection of how you see yourself. It's not about what other people think of you so much, but it is more about how you think of yourself that's mirrored back when other people see you. And this brings me to my next slide, which is, what do you want people to think when they hear your name? Because this is very much about how you think of yourself when you hear your name. And some buzzwords that come up to my mind are confident, elegant, charismatic, responsible, radiant, timely, professional, trustworthy. And these are the words that should reflect in your personal style, in the way you carry yourself every single day. We oftentimes think that personal style at work is neutral, it's black, it's beige, and that's just how it should be. But today I invite you to think of how you can embody some of your own culture, some of your own personal touch into everything that you wear every single day without feeling any hesitation or without feeling that you're going to stand out, because it is something that is so authentic to you, and that's what makes you magnetic. That's what makes you authentic. That's what makes you charismatic. I invite you to think that personal style at work can also look like color. It can look like anything which you really feel is authentic to you. And that doesn't mean that it has to be one size fits all. It can be embracing your natural hair. It can be embracing your natural skin tone. And that's what we are going to come to in the next few slides. How can we find colors that suit us best, that make us look like the best version of ourselves? And this is not only true for women, it's actually true for men as well. We oftentimes think that for men, it's only going to be black and white and gray, and those are the only colors that work best for men. But more often than not, men can also embrace color, just like the way we saw one of the speakers dressed in a beautiful blue outfit and really pull it off beautifully. But I have nothing to wear. I'm sure everybody in this room relates to this phrase. I have nothing to wear. Even though we may have tons of outfits in our closet, we sometimes feel that we have nothing. And this is a myth that we can bust. We can make the most of our current wardrobe without going out there and buying a whole new wardrobe. And there are a few tricks to do that. We are going to resolve that today. I invite you to really interact with this a little bit, because we are going to do a personal style analysis test in a few ways. One of them being eye color test. Then we have vein color, hair color, and skin color test. We are all blessed with beautiful, different types of features that really make us who we are. And this goes with our skin, with our hair, with our eyes. And sometimes we can really feel so conscious of that. Sometimes we can feel that we want to change everything about ourselves and make us look like one person. But today I invite you to think that the fact that you're being gifted with a certain skin color, a certain type of hair, that is what your unique asset is. And you can make the most of it just by a few simple hacks. Eye color test. So I invite you to really think about your eye color. You may not be able to just see it just now, but think about it. Is it more icy blue? Is it more green? Is it more brown? You would see for yourself that some colors are warm. So we see brown, hazel, green. These are the colors that are a bit more warm toned. And then we have icy blue, we have gray, we have silver, we have dark green, which is a bit more cool toned. And when we know this, I can already see a lot of people looking at each other's eyes, which is amazing. You're just trying to figure out, are you a bit more cool or are you a bit more warm? Same goes for our hair. I can see a lot of people in the room, they have beautiful golden, brown, red hair, and this is warm toned. And then when we go for silver, black, and more darker colors, they fall into the cool category. And you can see the difference already. With the faces on the screen, you can see cooler shades are a bit more darker. They are also silvery. They have just a stark difference between the warmer shades and the cooler shades. I can already see a lady right in front of me. She has beautiful blonde hair, and she has this golden glow, and she looks to me a little bit more on the warmer side. And then I can see a guy just in front of me has black hair and a bit more cooler complexion. So you can see here as well, we can see with the skin tone, warm complexions are golden. You can right away tell that they have this golden glow about them, whereas cooler shades are darker and they have a little bit more smokiness about them. And right away you can yourself tell, am I a bit more warm or am I a bit more cool? And if you still feel that I'm not able to tell right away, you can do it for each other. You can look into each other's eyes. Oh, is it more black? Is it more blue? You can tell yourself just by the skin tone. Am I a bit more warm or am I cool? And why is this important? Why am I talking about being warm or cool? I'm not talking about temperature over here. So why this is important is that you would understand what colors look best on you. But what if you are not warm or cool? There are some people who fall in this category, and I'm in this category, and neither warm or cool. Then you're probably neutral. And how you can tell for sure is by using something called a vein test. So I invite you to just look at your veins and see, can I see a little bit more blue, or can I see a bit more of green? Or can I see a mixture of both? What this does is that this gives you confirmation, am I a bit more warm or am I cool? If you're cool, you will see a bit more of purple, a bit more of blue, and if you're warm, you will see green. If you're neutral, you will see both. Why this is important is that now you see what are your best colors. If you were cool, you can see the color palette for cool is a little bit more pink, blue, pastel. These are your best colors. And I can see one of the panelists, he is wearing a beautiful baby pink shirt and he is cool toned. And you can see cool colors are baby pink. Similarly, with warm colors, we have green, we have red, we have yellow, and these are your best colors, but this does not mean that you have to restrict yourself to a particular color palette. But when you wear these colors, they make the best out of you. They make you stand out because you're really owning all of your things that really make you unique. And instead of having to change yourself, all of a sudden you're embracing yourself and you're wearing your best colors. One thing which I would like you to ask yourself also, to just get a little bit more understanding of your personal style, is to ask yourself, who are my style icons? My personal style icons are Kate Middleton, Amal Clooney, but who are your personal style icons? And this doesn't mean that you have to go and buy the same outfit as them or buy a designer wardrobe, but this gives you an understanding that I like these fabrics, I like this type of style, and more often than not, you will realize that your body type, your colors actually match your style icons. And this is something I personally do with my clients, and I help them understand what their personal style is using this question. Something I invite you to walk away with today is a 7-day style plan to help you put together outfits very quickly every single day. Instead of wasting a lot of time every day to put together outfits, you can use something very simple. How it goes is that you have monochrome Monday, you have texture Tuesday. Monochrome doesn't mean that you just wear black and white. Monochrome actually is wearing the same color in different shades. So you can see I have the color wheel over there, and there are different colors there. But every color has different shades. And this is the meaning of monochrome. And this is something that was fascinating to me as well, that monochrome doesn't mean black and white, and you can embrace all the colors in the color wheel. Then we have Textile Tuesday, and this means that you can really embrace texture like tweed, satin, leather, and embody that in your daily personal style. Then we have wear what you love Wednesday. You can wear what you love on a Wednesday, and this makes it so easy. Then we have trendy Thursday, adding something from the trend, maybe a leopard print tweed jacket into your personal style. Then we have fancy Friday, adding something that is a statement piece in your wardrobe, and it could be as simple as beautiful African earrings, beautiful gold jewelry, a statement shoe, a statement bag. For men, it can mean a nice shirt that you often save for special occasions. The same piece can also be used for statement Saturday. And then we have simple Sunday, in which you just wear your simple outfits and loungewear. A challenge for everyone in the room today is to edit their own wardrobes. Sometimes we feel that we have so much stuff that we can get very overwhelmed with that stuff. But I invite you to use the strategies that I discussed with you today to curate beautiful outfits for yourself for the first week of your work. And you will see that this works like magic, because once you start preparing yourself for the first week of your job, you will see that you're already prepared for that job. You already have outfits lined up. You're already setting your mindset to be prepared for what's to come. So I invite you to declutter your wardrobe, to put together 5 outfits using the 7-day style plan and your color analysis, and to get ready for your new job. So I hope that this session added value into your life. And I also want to end on a note that what is inside of you is a trend that will never go out of style. So I invite you to really embrace that in your personal style with whatever you wear every single day. If you would like to work with me, I offer personal shopping services, personal image consulting, as well as one-on-one private coaching. I've styled the Miss Universe Ireland contestant Charles Singh, as well as some other clients for personal photo shoots, as well as galas. So this is a QR code if you would like to work with me. I had a really good time speaking here, and I hope that you got some valuable insights about your personal style today. Thank you so much.
I think what makes APNI Career Day interesting is just the amount of people, students, professionals, etc., that are here to experience not only what LinkedIn has to offer, but what local businesses in Dublin have to offer as well. So the amount of people that's come through here, even in the 30 minutes, 40 minutes that I've been here, has been incredible. Really interested, really excited. Not only people who are attending, but everyone that I've met here who's in a booth is really interested in getting to know people genuinely.
So just before we get into our conversation, I'd like to have a quick pulse check, and I'd like to have you help me with it. So if you could please raise your hand if you have never, ever heard of the word mentorship, mentor, mentee, anything going. So great. Mentorship is not new to any of us. And I believe you all would have known that mentorship, or heard that mentorship is like the cornerstone of career advancement. But the question is, how? How do you take mentorship into career advancement? And that's why we're here today, for the conversation of the how. Before we start though, I'd like to invite you all to watch a quick video with us, and the video will lead us into our conversation for the day.
The pencil's tale. Once upon a time, an old pencil maker took his newest pencil aside just before he was about to pack him into a box. Imagining the little fellow as a person, he recalled a few things about the pencil. "There are 5 things you need to know," he said to his pencil. "Before I send you out into the world, always remember these 5 things, never forget them, and you will become the best pencil you can be." The first thing is to remember that you will be able to do many great things. but only if you put yourself in someone else's hands. From time to time, you will experience a painful sharpening, but remember that this will make you a better pencil. Also, keep in mind that you will be able to correct any mistakes you might make along the way. And the most important part of you is what's on the inside. And remember this as well. Upon every surface that you are used, you must leave your mark. No matter what else happens, you must continue to write. It seemed the pencil listened to him and promised he would remember these 5 things so that he could live his life with heart and purpose. You see, in life, in your life, put yourself in someone else's hand. Embrace challenges for growth. Learn from mistakes. Value inner qualities. And leave a positive mark on the world. And you too can become the best pencil there is. This was The Pencil's Tale, and this is Dare to Do Motivation. Thank you so much for watching, and stay blessed.
I hope you all found that motivational. So just as a synopsis, The Pencil's Tale is a short metaphorical story that illustrates the 5 core life lessons. And we'll be using those 5 lessons to lead us into 5 themes under the theme of the impact of mentorship. So to get us started and to break ground, Dean, the first theme we encounter is putting yourself in someone's hands. And in the context of our conversation today, you'd be putting yourself, if you're a mentee, in the hands of a mentor. So my question is, under this theme of putting yourself in someone's hands, what role do mentors play in helping mentees recognize their potential in the context of career advancement?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here this afternoon. I was here last year, and this is a great honor to be here and be part of the APNI event. So as a mentor and hello? Sorry, yes, as a mentor and also someone who has been a mentee, this obviously is something that I hold quite close. Mentors, in essence, are pivotal in helping mentees unlock their potential. They're there to support the mentee in a number of different ways, and I'll succinctly go through some of those key points, but the main one being, access to networks. And when we look at the role of a mentor, we initially look at it and think Richard Branson or one of the big entrepreneurs that's going to open loads of doors and give us loads of opportunities. But mentors come in very different guises. But one of those key attributes is to look at opening and access to a variety of different networks and opportunities. The other is guidance and insight. So what you're looking at is mentors that have a great deal of experience, who have trod the path already, who can give you insights into, sorry, new at this, into the different trends and expectations within the corporate world or whatever industry you're going into. They can also give you confidence and build that confidence in you. It's really important that they help you broaden your horizons, allow you to think outside the box, but also take you outside of your comfort zone. We all know when we have that one person who believes in you, that you have that little bit of extra confidence to go and do something that may not be exactly what you enjoy doing, but is something that's going to push you and is going to help you grow. The other one is looking at setting goals and making you accountable. And for all of us, we learn about this all the time. If you want to achieve, one of the key things is to look about setting those goals and making those achievable and time bound and all those key buzzwords. But the key thing in this is to be accountable. And that's where your mentor will step in to help make you accountable. Also identifying the areas where you're shown some areas of weakness or maybe areas of strength or blind spots, as they call it. And just helping those areas of growth and identifying those and how you can apply those in the work that you're doing. It is fair to say that throughout all of my career, one of the most important things that I've learned is conflict resolution. Dealing with issues that come up, and with doesn't matter what area of business you're in, you are going to engage with or encounter conflict. And being able to have someone who you can go to, who can support you and encourage you through that, is invaluable. And ultimately, just to wrap it up, I think it's a trusted relationship, and it is a relationship that's two-way. Mentors get as much out of mentoring as the mentees. And basically what they do is give you the access to opportunities that may not have been available to you without the mentor. So hopefully I think that's covered that part.
Thank you, that covers it. Very excellent. You spoke about access, guidance, pushing us out of our comfort zones, conflict resolution, and trust. So obviously that is amazing when everything is going well. It might not be easy if things are not in the greatest of terms. And my next question is to you, Elena, as a follow-up to some of the guidelines that we got from Dean is there such a thing as a incompatible mentor-mentee relationship? And if yes, how do mentees recognize this and what do they do?
Absolutely. So it can happen that there is incompatibility between mentor and mentee. But how do you see that? So my first tip is really trust your gut feeling. Like after the first session, how do you feel? Do you feel excited? Do you want to talk to them again? And trust that. Then if you have that in-between feeling, I would also tell you, give it a second chance. It might be that you have different personality, that one of you might be a bit more shy. So go for a second session or even a third session. But really ask your sessions, was there open and respectful communication? Like if you had challenges in understanding each other, in connecting, then there's an issue. Like mentorship should really be a safe space where you can open yourself and be vulnerable. Also ask yourself, am I receiving any actionable advice that resonates with me? It can be that like your values and your goals are disaligned, and then you really don't know what to do with what you're hearing from your mentor because it's against your values. So again, incompatibility. And then, are you feeling challenged? It might be just that you're on two different levels. You always like the role of the mentor should really to push you out of your comfort zone. So yeah. So if you identify any of these things, like my suggestion would be first thing, chat to the mentor. It might be that he or she or them are feeling the same thing and you can solve it by having an open conversation. Second is maybe ask an advice to a dear friend or dear colleague to see if there's any blind spot that you have. But lastly, if it doesn't get solved, move on. Like there's no offense in telling to your mentor, I actually think there's some incompatibility or it's not the right moment for us to connect, and stop the relation there. It would be a waste of time, of your time and their time.
Thank you. And I think a very valuable one there is moving on.
Yeah.
Because I think we tend to get attached. Just quickly going into our second theme, the theme there was painful sharpening, which when I heard it the first time I was watching the video, the first thing that came to mind was no pain, no gain. So I'm gonna open this one to Zeph. So we've heard the saying no pain, no gain, and it's normally like in the fitness and that type of space. So my question is, do you think no pain, no gain has room in career advancement? Do we really have to go through the pains to get that promotion, that dream job, that thing that we're aspiring for in our careers?
Barista, as a barista, my answer as a barista, essentially, as a barista, you're self-employed, and essentially, and you may take up any employment which is other than practicing being a legal practitioner, but essentially you're running your own business. And then I may talk in a concrete manner about how mentorship can work in this context. And just say it's a career that is designed in having somebody looking after you professionally. Now, when you start being a barista in this jurisdiction, you have a mentor, mandatory first year, you have a master, and then you're a trainee, I may say. You may also say you're, they call it a devil. You see, you know what a devil is? Being a devil, demon. Yeah, just traditionally the way they call a barrister is newly called to the bar. Now he's a devil, and there's a verb to devil, he's deviling. And then he's working under supervision of a master. Then he's learning. He's mostly learning from his own mistakes. The aim of the way it is designed is not learning from the master's mistake, it's learning from your own mistake. Then you've been in you've been reading the law, and then you have to sit the bar exam, which is the barrister law exam at King's Inns, and then become a barrister, be called to the bar. And then it is a uniformed profession. For example, you have to dress, and you have to know how to dress. And also there's attitude to have. When in the courtroom, you need to know where to stand. So a barrister's advocate. Are you going, for example, if in a criminal court, are you sitting on the side of defendant or the prosecution, for example? And the master, they have to teach you all this attitude and how to talk to the judge and how to talk to colleagues. And you work in an open space. We don't have office where you have a receptionist like solicitor. We work in courts where we have the law library. The law library is organized in desks, and we're in open space where most senior barristers, they in there, then you access to them. Then further, to have access to your own master, you have access to all these experienced barristers. Then you learn from your mistakes, essentially. Yeah.
Since there is a little bit of pain in the process of finally getting it right.
About the pain.
Yes, that there is a bit of pain. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's part of it.
Part of it. So, Dean, I would like to ask you if you would have experienced maybe a little bit of deviling. Is that what you called it? Deviling? In your context, or if you when you were a mentee before you were a mentor, would you have experienced or maybe share a story about where you've had some painful sharpening and some deviling, as you would have had heard happens in the barrister world?
The term painful sharpening was new to me, but it is something that you experience all the time. I think if you don't go through any pain, then there's not a lot of growth, and it's one surefire way of learning. How much pain is a different question altogether, but in this context of career progression. So I was a mentee. My mentor in a company not too long back ago. I'd also run lots of businesses. I had my own consultancy. And I'd been in different agencies, and this was the first time moving into a corporate inside role. And my role was there to guide and mold the recruitment function for this organization as the head of recruitment, to bring in new practices, new strategies, new solutions to the problems that they had, and across 10 different locations across the UK and Ireland. I came in as a subject matter expert and been doing it for like 15, 20 years. So to me, you weren't going to be able to tell me anything about recruitment because I knew it. I'd experienced it, done it across multiple countries, different types of industries. And I came into this organization as that subject matter expert and set about changing and redesigning and implementing new processes and procedures. Now, the problem that I had was that I wasn't talking to the right people. I was speaking the language of HR, I was speaking to operations, they were telling me what they needed, and I was going, yeah, no problem at all, I'll fix this for you. I got all my teams together, we were all aligned, but I didn't check the alignment of the whole of the business that were affected by this, and ultimately the ones that hold the pen, the money men, finance. I wasn't talking to finance because I was like, I don't need to worry about that, I'll just do this. Cut a long story short, I'm working through the process. We're delivering, but we're delivering quality, but not the quantity. The quantity hits the bottom line. The quantity hits the bottom line. It wasn't the quality, it's the quantity. So I was in the wrong space. I was doing the wrong things. Best intentions, but the outcome wasn't what the business wanted. And my mentor pulled me to one side and said, Dean, you're not getting to the top table. You're not meeting with the right people because they've excluded you. And they've excluded you because you're not talking the language of every area that's necessary. So I wasn't talking finance. I wasn't helping them understand what I was trying to do and how that would affect the bottom line and how it was going to improve things. So I had to listen. I was very frustrated. I was very challenged is one word, but I was a bit miffed because I was working hard. I was making changes. I was doing exactly what I was asked to do. But my mentor pulled me to one side and said, Dean, this isn't working because you're not doing the things that you need to do. You're not speaking to the right people in the right way. And it was too late for me to change course and direction at that point. But the lesson that I took from that was not only just about learning to speak to the right people, but also about engaging with a mentor right at the very beginning of the process, someone who I could lean on to ask for guidance and direction. Because as a leader, you're expected to. And when you're a first-time leader, you take on that responsibility. But even as a leader, you need a mentor, someone to help guide you, especially in a new organization. So I think the painful lesson for me was the first time failing at something, the first time not being successful. And that was something that was alien to me. And something that I was very uncomfortable with. But the lesson that I learned from that has helped me move forward in more ways than I can count. You know, the painful sharpening part of this is it pushes you to be better. It builds resilience and adaptability. Because let's put it this way, we all go and we all make mistakes. The painful part of it is how quickly we learn from those, identify the mistake, learn from the mistake, and prevent or start the solution mode. But the pain is always going to be there, but the lessons are even bigger. Being adaptable, being able to change direction, being able to pivot. It's helped me raise the bar, you know, in terms of who I am as not just as a recruitment professional, but as a professional full stop in the corporate world. My confidence grew. So the initial outcome, I never felt smaller. But since then, that just experience has helped me grow my confidence because I've learned so much from it. But it also helps you develop empathy because you're understanding that from a mentor's point of view, is understanding they've got to deliver this uncomfortable information. And as a mentor, you've got to be able to understand how your message is going to be received by the mentee. And you're trying to do it in a way that allows them to quickly learn, but also doesn't knock all their confidence. So, painful sharpening is an important part of growth. But the mentor-mentee relationship is one that will help that painful transition make ease it a little bit, so it's not as painful or for as long a period of time, but it is part of the process.
So I hope that having heard Dean's experience in his senior position, that he experienced failure with so many years of experience, that we'll be more forgiving of ourselves in the earlier years of our careers when we stumble a little bit. So I'm going to jump us straight to our fourth theme. Just the third theme was correcting your mistakes, and Zeph had already touched on it in terms of the painful sharpening and the opportunity to learn from your own mistakes. So I'll go into valuing inequalities, and I really enjoyed this one. Just to quote the narrator, the words there were, "The most important part of you is what's on the inside." So for this one, I would like to bring in a conversation about the mentorship opportunities that APNI has had to bring to the community with Kellanova and Bank of Ireland. So if we speak a little bit about what's on the inside and we speak to a mentee, Elena, I'd like to ask you, what are the qualities in a mentee that contributes to a positive and productive mentorship experience for the mentor?
Sure. So as Dean was saying earlier, mentorship is really a two-way relationship. And so the qualities that we would look in for a mentee, and that makes for a mentor a much easier experience, is the first one, curiosity and openness. So rock up with really an open mind, open perspectives. It's okay to disagree, and you can agree together that you're disagreeing, but don't start to be defensive. Like, don't be arrogant about it. Be open. You might disagree. Take your time to think about it, and you might want to chat it again in the next session. The other behavior is humility. Really be humble in accepting the feedback. Any feedback that the mentor might be giving to you is really to make you grow. He's not meaning anything like personal. Then the other one is really take the commitment to grow. So be proactive, go to the sessions prepared. Like if they give you something to read or some homework, get to the session prepared. If you're busy, there are other stuff in your life, send them a text the night before and be like, can we reschedule? Like there's no point of joining the call and be like, oh no, I didn't have the time to read it. You're wasting again both time. Reschedule. And then last, but very important, authenticity. Like as I was saying before, mentorship has to be a safe space. So really open yourself, be your genuine self, and have those open conversations.
Oh, that's a very good one. Thank you so much. We're gonna challenge the what's on the inside of organizations. So those were good qualities for a mentee, but I'm gonna get Dean to speak to us about the qualities that are important within the organization. So my question is, how can mentorship programs be designed to support diversity and inclusion within organizations in advancing underrepresented groups?
Really, really, really good question. I'm the co-chair for our Diversity and Inclusion Gender Balance Network. D&I is at the center of a lot of what I do, from what my job is, but also what I'm passionate about. Internship programs or companies themselves can do so much. There's a lot of D&I programs in lots of organizations. It's pushing those organizations to not just be lip service to those, to tick a box around those to enter awards, but it's actually to live and breathe those values that they are talking about. At Bank of Ireland, I think we're starting to that journey. I wouldn't say we're nowhere near the end, but we're at the start of that journey. We're moving really, really quickly. So one of those ways that we can look at that is the designated or designed internship programs. So working with likes of APNI, developing an internship program for the African community to sort of look at international pairing, to provide structured training and development for those individuals that are successful in that internship program. But it's not just the internship program, it's the supports that come around that. So not just about applying, if you got it, that's the end of the journey. The journey is how do we support you and empower you then, if you're not successful, to move to the next level, to continue the journey. So providing different things like career coaching, CV writing, interviewing skills, that sort of thing, specifically designed for that community or this community. I think it's important that the organizations are learning about the various different aspects of diversity inclusion. So I think as mentors and in all organizations, it doesn't matter what it is, they need to be very well clued in diversity and inclusion and understand the challenges that we all face from or minority applications or candidates have. We provide personal development plans, understanding the unique barriers that are faced by the group. And again, as Elena pointed to, it's about creating a safe space for open dialogue and networking and things like that. So the events like today are fantastic. There's lots of corporate organizations here presenting, this is the first step. Then it's about creating that internship program and actually inviting people to come along, showcase their skills. And we've had some real good success from that. We took a number of interns in. I was part of the interview panel for that and selection process. And to the point we've actually, one of those interns has now become a permanent member of staff and is actually supporting other intern in events, working with diversity and inclusion to support and pay it forward. So the more that we do it, the more impetus and momentum that develops, and then we'll start to do it. You'll see this more, and that's the plan, is that you'll see Bank of Ireland at the forefront of inclusion and equity, and driving that forward through the internship programs and then the mentorship programs that are already alive within the bank. And I'd say, even I am an employee, but I have found that when you're inside the bank, there are so many people who are willing to support you and help you grow because they've done that journey themselves. So, a lot of people have started from a retail background and then developed themselves up to director, head of, or at least half of the board have traveled that journey. So there is a clear career path, but there's a lot of wealth of experience and challenge that those people can provide, and they're willing to offer that. And I think that's the key thing, and especially around unrepresented or less represented groups, such as the African Professional Network and things like that.
Thank you so much, Dean, for that accountability. And that brings our conversation to an end, but I just want to say that what Dean downplayed there is that one of the mentees who had joined the Career Accelerator / internship program ended up getting a permanent position. So we're very excited about seeing these successes. So in closing, I'd like to open the opportunity for 2 questions from the audience. If you have a question, please quickly raise your hand. We've got a roaming mic, and our panel is ready to respond.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so I have to write it down so that I won't forget. Because of the kind of background that I have, I had to learn many things to get by, right? I can do so many things that I'm at a stage right now where I'm like, do I just keep doing all these many things because it's helping me get by, or do you think I should just focus on one thing and just, succeed at that?
Zef, would you like to maybe give us a quick answer to that one?
Yes.
And I'll just to hold it very close. I think there's a little bit of an issue with the sound. They've just signaled they want us to please bring it close.
I think education or employment, it's about not one thing at all. And it's about variety of things, of considerations, objectives, of matters. And because you said about your background, but haven't heard which background is it. Are you a student? And what are you studying?
Interactive digital media masters.
I mastered it.
Yes.
Brilliant. Then you can see you have a courses and a curriculum, which is covering several aspects. And I think it is a multi activity in qualifying as a professional and in completing the study you're doing, the education you're doing. If I take my case as a barrister, my study is legal study. Then I was to study, for example, the common law system of Ireland, which is different from the system of law I'm from, which is the civil law. Don't want to confuse you, but it entails a lot of reading and variety of aspects, to the point that you can be able to say which aspect of law I want to practice. For example, do you want to be a criminal barrister, or you want to practice in civil jurisdictions? It's always about multi-sector, multi-dimension.
Sorry, can I just add just a little bit to that? Sorry, 'cause I think it's an important point.
Very quick.
Really, really quickly, just remember there's not one path to the end of where you're trying to get to. So just remember that what you're doing touches so many different areas. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to work for a marketing organization or a design agency, and that's your vision, that's fine, but you're competing with a lot of people also in that space. So, and that can be quite frustrating. What I would say to you is that every area of business covers some of those aspects. So you could be working in one field, and then suddenly you can put your hand up and say, actually, I can do all of those things. And then you can stand out and make your mark in an environment where it may not have been your first choice, but that's where you make your mark, because suddenly they go, this is our go-to guy for this. Next thing you know, a position comes up internally for that position, you apply, but not only are you applying as a fresh person, you're applying for someone internally that can showcase, and you've also got recommendations from people in the business that have said, this is my go-to, he's the guy. So not one path. Think and look about the holistic view, look at the bigger picture. Don't just go, this is the route I have to take. Go down that route, but also have your contingencies and your backups.
Oh, that's a lovely one. I challenge you to hunt them down just after this panel before they leave the building. Quickly, your question, please.
Yeah, my question is, what motivates you with all the workload you guys do? What motivates you? What keeps you, like, the drive? That makes sense.
I'll give this one to Elena. She's one of our mentors at APNI, and we ask ourselves the same question. Well, it's a really good question, because as you say, we give up our time. You always have to remember that when you're booking a session, the other person is giving up their time that they could go to the gym, spend with their family, their kids. But what motivates me and many of my colleagues that I know do mentorship is having a legacy, knowing that you're having an impact and helping others, and also like thinking how much mentors had an impact on myself, on your colleagues. Like, I want to
give back. So I received and I want to give back. So that is what really motivates of giving up the time and spending time. And then, as we were saying before, being a two-way relationship, like many times you actually get reverse mentorship. So you learn things from the mentees, or many times there might be an age difference, etc. They open up new perspectives that you hadn't thought about.
Thank you, audience. Thank you, Zeph. Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Lana. And that concludes our conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, all right, all right. How are we feeling? We're doing good. Guys, just not want me to come back next year or something. Like, yeah, a bit of engagement. How you guys feeling? You're tired. Don't worry, don't worry. This is the moment you've been asking for. Quick one, very big thanks to the APNI's moderators, and very quick thank you to the panelists. So very, very quickly, what we're going to do, basically this is the moment right now, so we'll have an opportunity now for you guys to meet your recruiters. There's a couple of quick things. Your LinkedIn profile optimization and your personalized CV clinic. I just want you to look there to well, it's your top right, okay? So you see the guys lining up there? That's where the CV clinic is at. If you want to get your headshot taken today, if you just go upstairs to the far back, that's where you'll be able to get your professional headshots. If you're looking for some food, then you know to kind of go this side and go to the left there, okay? And then, of course, you've got your recruiters, your managers, and everybody else that you can network with. But real quick, before I send you guys away, when you signed up today, you would have received a passport of some sort. This is an opportunity for you to be able now, when you're networking, it's going to help you guys, okay? So we bear gifts. So if you do everything, and the everything we're talking about is basically meeting all of the managers, scanning your QR code, make sure you've spoken to every single company today. This will leave you with a chance of these two particular gifts. The first gift is to have lunch with Sue Duke. You would have seen a video on her before already. She's the VP of LinkedIn. So that will be an opportunity for you to ask as many questions as you'd like. Then the second opportunity then is for you to also have a free course by UCD's Professional Academy, something that you can put on your LinkedIn as well. This will give you the competitive edge. Okay, so please, as you're networking, keep that in mind. Scan some QR codes, ask some good questions, enjoy the food, get a good headshot, and of course, go to the CV clinic if your CV is not feeling well. All right, take it easy, guys. It's been a pleasure. See you around 7 p.m. We'll talk again. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
To mingle with the companies and with each other. Thank you. I'd like to have invite Edima. Edima is APNI's first female president. Please help me welcome her.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Vale. Thank you for emphasizing the first female president. So I think it's very important. Woohoo to women leadership. Hi, everybody. How are you doing? I need a little bit more of energy. I know you just signed off work, you know, from your screen, from your office. You made the effort to show up. So show up really well. So how are you doing? Thank you. Thank you. That was a lot better. As Bale said, my name is Edima, and I am the APNI president. So pretty much my job here now is to chat to you about why Career Day, but I'm going to keep it short and sweet and very impromptu, because we have an incredible human who pretty much started the genesis of Career Day. And I think it's very important to kind of get her perspective as well, which she's not organizing this year. She's just experiencing it just like you. Yeah, so welcome to the third APNI Career Day. I still can't believe it, right? When we came here the first year, we had hopes, right? We dreamt, right? We worked very late at night. Just to give you a bit of perspective, APNI is a nonprofit organization, and it's run by volunteers. But when I say volunteers, let me be very specific, as someone said earlier, sometimes volunteers get paid. We don't get paid. We all have our full-time careers and stuff. While you're sleeping, we are up at 12 midnight, working, sending you those emails, taking those meetings during our lunch breaks and our holidays. So on behalf of the APNI team, I'd love to welcome you to the events today, but I'd love you to put a round of applause and just appreciate the APNI team for the incredible work they've done. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I get the privilege to stand here, and as I look up, all I see are just bright faces, and you all look beautiful as well. You don't look like someone that just came off a 9 to 5. So you need to tell me what you do, right? So maybe I should change my career, but your presence here today is a testament to your support for what we do at APNI, right? Even though we get to plan, do all the organizing, it won't be fun if you're not here, right? So thank you so much for showing up. And most importantly, it's a testament of your investment in your own career. So applaud yourself and turn to the person beside you and say, well done. Awesome. APNI Career Day is also a testament to the power of partnerships, collaboration, and passion for our community. So I'm very incredibly grateful for the contributions of all the companies that are here. And it goes without saying, I have to name all of them. So although it's going to sound like I'm going through a laundry list, but it takes a lot of effort to put this together. And we very much appreciate companies who are allies, who mean business when it comes to diversifying their workforce and showing up at a career day that is curated specifically for Black professionals. So our dedicated corporate partners are LinkedIn, awesome, Google, Zurich, Jackson Square Aviation. Come on, more energy, guys. Bank of Ireland, Busteran, Medtronic, Grant Thornton, JP Morgan, definitely see fans. Irish Life, Vodafone. Ooh, thank you. Salah. And we also have some partners who support our community, especially UCD Professionals Academy, who will be giving out sponsored courses to some of our members today. UCD Professional Academy. Fragment, you will see just right behind me, supporting our members when it comes to immigration and visa support. Fragment. And last but not the least, given that this month is Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's also Black History Month. So give a round of applause for Black Therapists Ireland. Awesome. So just looking back on the past 3 seasons that we've done this, LinkedIn has been our headline partner. It takes a lot of effort, right? You come in and see everything looks amazing today, but LinkedIn goes beyond just being an ally, but also putting action into the words that they say. So they're using their scale, their brand, their resources, their team to support APNI Career Day. So give a round of applause for LinkedIn once again, and for Sue Duke, who is the leader of LinkedIn. Awesome. So looking back, I just want to invite, like I said, I was going to invite an incredible human to join me on stage, as I do want to get her thoughts, and you also get an insight into what having planned and organized APNI Career Day for the past 3 years. So guys, please help me. This is a pioneer. This is an icon, right? So let us have a moment. Sewa, can you come on stage and join me?
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, we can
Thank
hear
you for that warm welcome.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah.
Do you want to quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. It's good to see you guys. My name is Siwa, and I don't know if you guys may recognize me from previous APNI events, but I am the former APNI Career Day lead. Woo! And in my daytime, I'm a software engineer. So it's really great to be back here and to see you, Edima, and the wonderful job that the team is doing.
It's really exciting to have you. So, Sewa, you've not had sleepless nights this year, right?
Yes.
Organizing, picking up the phone, getting on those meetings, and I see you're glowing, girl. But what I do want to get from your perspective is as attending, right?
Yes.
Experiencing the day itself. So think of 2022, right?
Yeah.
When we were hustling, right?
Yes.
Trying to make this happen. And here we are today.
And
I'd just love to get your thoughts.
Yeah. So the first APNI career day, our target was to get only 200 people. That would have been 100% for us. So that was our goal. We wanted 6 companies because we thought we'd only get 6 companies. So to come here and see like over 500, 700 people here, it feels unreal that it's this big.
Yeah.
And it shows what a long way we've come. I've spoken to a few people throughout the day, some people who got their job from the first or second iteration. I got my job from the second APNI career day. So being here and seeing the fruit of something we did and seeing the team, the APNI team, keeping this work going, it's really just made my heart melt. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sewa. Please, a round of applause for Sewa. Just one internal joke we have at APNI is that if you're going to see a lot of Black people, right, they're in 3 places. 1, they're places of worship. 2, Burna Boy or Asha K's concert. 3 is where?
APNI Career Day.
Woo! So have a great evening. See you.
Thank you.
Okay, so what do you think is interesting about APNI Career Day?
What I really love about the APNI Career Day is that most career days you go to and it's just the companies and there's no interactions. What I love about the career day is that we have panels too, so you can have different speakers from different companies, execs, and some senior professionals. And then after the panels, you can ask them questions. So even if you're not just looking for a job, what you also get is the opportunity to speak to other professionals and get insights from those professionals too. I think that that's what makes it really cool. It's more than a career fair. It's a career day.
It is a career day. And I think for my end, there's also outside of just engaging with professionals, but there's also incentives to win things.
Yes.
So for example, we have a
event passport.
Yeah. And you get to get stamps from all the companies that you speak with. So which is really interesting.
Yeah.
So,
And in the end you can win a prize. So
exactly.
Yeah. Sign up and attend the next APNI Career Day. We have so much fun every year.
As an organizer, what I find exciting about this event, honestly, it's the people. I love the exposure to people. I love answering questions. I think my background in recruitment allows for that. I love kind of finding out what people do and exactly why they're actually attending this event itself. It's honestly such a pleasure. I love the preparation behind this event as well. It's been absolutely amazing. This was my first time hosting APNI 2024 as well, so I love the ability to be able to jump into the deep end. Honestly, been one of the best events I've ever attended, ever been a part of, and I'm looking forward to being a part of more. Take it easy.
I was here last year and I actually didn't come in like HR kind of personnel. I just came in after work, like, you know, just to see how it goes. And like it blew my mind. It was amazing. I was like, I was looking at that, I was like, this is something great, you know, good professionals in Ireland, like Black professionals coming together, you know, to do something good, you know, contribute to the society. I'm like, oh, this is great.
All right, let's get started. So this panel is about navigating your career Everest. And I think one of the things I was thinking about before kicking this off. So for those of you who do not know, and you were not here earlier on, I am from Nigeria. And yes, congratulations. Was when you talked about the career that you wanted, you were basically told you had 5 options: doctor, lawyer, engineer, banker, or disgrace to your family, right? And it was quite a fixed mindset about how to think about careers. And I think that now it's like if we think about that as we go into this conversation, navigating your career Everest is not linear, and it is definitely it's about embracing the squiggly career. But before we get into that, let's learn a little bit more about our panelists. So I'm going to go to each one, and I'd love to know, where are you from, and could you share your career journey to Ireland? So I will start with Christy.
Thank you, and thanks APNI for having me here. It's a pleasure. Where am I from?
I'm your sister. I'm from Nigeria.
Yes. You're all my sisters, of course. But like...
I know. Originally from Nigeria, and I moved to Ireland 11 years ago. And yeah, been navigating the career and the market terrain here in Ireland, and glad to be here.
Titi?
Good evening. Thank you for having me this evening. Look, I was going to say I'm originally from Mayo, but obviously you know I'm lying. I'm originally from Zimbabwe, and I've been I'm here 20 years now, so I'm really excited to be here to try and share a few things in my own career. Hopefully that will help some people in the audience. And I'm very selfish. I want to make sure you are role models for my grandchildren. That's why I'm here. Thank you.
Thanks, Titi. Ayanda?
Nice. Good evening, everyone. And again, I guess, thank you for having me. Really an honor to be on the stage with these amazing leaders. I am from the country of champions.
Oh.
South Africa. Po, 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 po. I had to. Yeah, I'm from South Africa, and I guess maybe like, I know I have a very quick minute, but my journey to Ireland was through my DMs, actually. My now manager slid into my DMs and basically told me about an opportunity that was coming up, asked me if I'd be interested. And of course I was interested, but I didn't want to immediately say yes. So I may have only, I think, responded a day or two later, but let me tell you, he actually ghosted me for a good 6 months after that. And I totally regretted it. I was like, never again am I gonna ignore a DM that I'm interested in and an opportunity that I'm interested in. Lo and behold, 6 months later, we reconnected again. He told me the reasons why, which I'll probably get to later. But yeah, long story short, that's how I got here. And here I am 2.5 years later.
Thank you. It's great to get to know a little bit about our panelists who are all from countries that are champions. But we know which ones are the real champions. So let's get into it. So we're going to talk about squiggly careers. And I think the three of you have really interesting perspectives on what that looks like. And so I'm going to come to each of you with your perspective on that specific topic. So I'm going to start with Christy. So how did you successfully navigate the transition from one field or industry into another?
How did I do that? I think I'll start with self-awareness. I was very intent on what I wanted. By the way, 16 years in HR profession. Prior to HR profession, I spent 9 years in corporate banking. So how do you navigate corporate banking into being a HR professional and then working across different sectors and industries where the HR skill is transferable? So it's about self-awareness, being intentional about what you want, the skill sets, there are skill sets that are required for a banker that's actually transferable into the HR world. And one of the things I'm grateful for being a banker first is my commercial acumen. Because being a HR person, people will think that, oh, they're just people hire fire, right? They don't understand P&L, balance sheets, and all of that. But when I'm in the boardroom and I'm talking about the numbers, like they are talking about the numbers, I understand the numbers that the way they are explaining it. So I suppose it's understand self-awareness and that understanding the skill set that I needed to transition from being a banker into being a HR professional, and then going to find that skill set, preparing, waiting for the opportunity. And in terms of the skill set, it's not necessarily going back to school. There's soft skills within your current role that are really transferable, and is identifying what those skills are, then identifying the role or industry you want to transfer into, and then figuring out how you can tell a story using your skills, how you can, point to examples of how those skills you have in a current role can transfer into the role that you aspire to get into. So self-awareness, development, knowing the skills and being intentional, and then focus and drive, because my God, you will hit bombs and blockages. And I think above all, you will need patience and grace for yourself, because you've got to be patient. It could take 2 years, it could take 1 month, it could take 3 days. You've just got to be patient. But I think understanding the transferable skills, your self-awareness and focus really goes a long way.
Thank you, Christy. Ayanda?
Yeah, I think for me, very much similar to Christy as well. And maybe I'll tell a little bit of my story. So I started in social media management, and at that time, I thought that's what I wanted to do. And I enjoyed it for a good couple of years until I think I realized that I needed something a little bit more purposeful, something that I wanted to fulfill me and really be driven. So I sort of took a few steps back, reflected, remapped my career trajectory, and sort of identified very much what skills I had that I could transfer to take me to the next stage or to the next level, which at that time was to be a strategic advisor in marketing. So I wanted to sit in boardrooms with the right people. I wanted to grow myself into becoming a head of marketing and CMO, and that's since changed again. And that's kind of telling you and showing you how squiggly things are, because that's not who I am or what I am today. But firstly, I identified at that time what skills did I have that I could transfer and leverage as my strengths to help me get into that next role. And then I also looked for gaps within my own space that I didn't have that could help me to get there. And how I did that is I started to take short courses, I started to go to workshops, but for me, I think the golden thing and my biggest currency has been people. So building my network and finding the right people to help me get there. So yes, I had the skills. Yes, I knew what I needed to upskill and reskill myself with, but then attending like networking sessions such as this, going to conferences, going to, roundtables, really kind of helped me to step into rooms with the right people to help me get into sort of my next play and understanding what I needed there. And then lastly, I'd probably say building my own personal brand. Like I cannot preach that more or enough. Like I was like, okay, what do I have and how can I showcase myself as an employee of choice? So, we hear a lot from, companies saying, we want to position ourselves as an employer of choice, many of the companies that are here today. But I thought, how do I stand out and position myself? So it was then really about building my personal brand, being very confident in how I was promoting myself and my work. And ideally, I believe that's then what got me into strategic advisory, into marketing. And then eventually I've since pivoted into talent solutions now, using the same tools really.
Right. So skills, self-awareness, and you're hearing it from someone who actually knows how people get into organizations and someone who's been shifting from different jobs to another. Titi, how do you make the move from management into leadership? How does that happen?
Yeah, oh, that's loud. It's always easier with hindsight to say, these are the things that you can do to get there. And it sounds quite simple, but it's not a simple process and straightforward as it might appear. So what I'll probably say is the transition to leadership happened, it was a slow transition. And to be fair, it only started when I realized who I was. As a minority coming into a new space, like basically everything you know or thought you know would be challenged. When I came here, I thought I was an amazing English speaker. I could network and stuff like that. And before I knew it, I was stressed from just speaking too much English, just in one day. So I found that at a basic level, I started doubting myself. And it didn't help because the guys I was working with had never worked with anyone from Africa at the time. I came in 2004, working with PwC, and they gave me the simplest jobs that they could find. And most of those jobs, for those who understand, the clients would do their own internal audits and they issue reports. And those reports kind of ended up on my desk and I'll review them. So that meant I was safe. I wasn't meeting the client, I wasn't embarrassing them, I wasn't embarrassing myself. To be fair, they didn't know, they had not worked with anyone like me. So they had no basis to actually trust me. I was really annoyed by that because I thought I was absolutely amazing and they were belittling my talent and I was giving out about it and I didn't really want to stay in Ireland. I actually wanted to go back home after about 6 weeks. My poor wife said, look, in Zimbabwe things were tight, so hang in there, dearest. And I had no choice. So I said, look, I actually have to work on this. So unfortunately, I just took the only thing I had, I took those reports, I had all the time in the world to read them. I went out to the client, I didn't need to, I wasn't required to, but I spent about a year talking to everyone who would listen to me and sharing my story because I wasn't busy. What happened is within 6 months, there was a regulatory change in the US. So most of you would know, Sarbanes-Oxley. That client was listed in the US. And they said, oh, we need someone who understands the business. Guess who understood the business at the time? That lad who was always in their canteen and talking to anyone who would listen. And we went in, I was only a manager at the time, and it was too big a job to give to a manager. So they said, look, yeah, we'll give you this senior manager and this director and this partner. And the client said, we know that TT guy. He's spent more time with us when nobody knew or cared. So I ended up becoming the senior manager on that job, and it turned from like a 60 grand job to a 3 million euro job overnight. And that propelled my career from that time because then I had a brand. You'd think that would basically get me into a corner office and everyone will celebrate. It didn't. For those who've worked in firms, it's quite competitive and there are very few slots to get into. So even with that, it didn't get me into a director role. So what I learned was, I wasn't as great as I thought I was. There were a few things that I actually needed to fix and work on. So unlike Christy and Ayanda, I've been a lifer in firms. So I've done EY, KPMG, PwC, and back to EY now. So my transition has been within the firm. So I realized I'm here almost 15 years, I think 12 years at the time. Why am I not making? Why is it so hard? So I started studying I'll take it like an elite sport. I looked around and said, who's amazing? Who's getting promoted? Forget the race, forget where they come from. Who is absolutely amazing? And I found a few guys. You'd be amazed when I say, look, I just want a few minutes with you for coffee. You're really amazing. I want to know how you became this amazing. They gave me their time. And I wrote notes and I became a student of understanding the KPIs and their key skills. And I discovered things we take for granted. You know, people can train to be speed readers. You can train your voice. They're voice coaches, they're life coaches. And all these guys had all these secrets and they were progressing and I was sitting there thinking, I'll just power through. So understanding some of these key KPIs and skills that people around you are developing quietly at home will actually help you accelerate your career. Because if you don't, all you have is what you have now, and it's not going to get you to the next stage. So what I found is, as I started those principles, I started reading faster, I started typing faster, I started remembering names faster, because there are methods to these things. So I picked up all that, and guess what? Without me actually asking for it, people said, well, have you considered the next level? We are seeing potential in you. Can you also work on this? And those people I asked questions became my mentors. So from that day, some of them are still in my life right now, and they're coaching me, and that allowed me to continue and stay in the firm. Otherwise, I would have left within 3 years. But those sponsors, those coaches, they're basically stopping me when I wanted to prematurely leave the firm. But I'll talk later on how I eventually left PwC after 10 years and why I left, if asked. Over to you.
Thank you. So there's definitely a theme there around skills, right? Because there's skills that are transferable, skills that you know that you can carry from one industry into another. But there's also points in your career where you say, actually, the skills that got me here are maybe not exactly the same ones that will get me to the next part. Titi, I did like one of the tips though, because I think it's a tip that's hard to resist. If someone came to me and said, I think you're amazing, can you have a coffee with me and tell me how amazing you are? I'd be like, yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you how amazing I am. So in case you're wondering, you should take that tip.
Can I add something there? And I think that's a really good tip. I just want to flip it, right? In some situation, like in my situation, no one came to me to say, oh, I think you'll be great for that role. It never happened, even though all my performance appraisals were exceeding and I was going far and above and doing the one I wasn't sent, right? So I had to self-advocate for myself. So yes, that saying you're amazing and connecting and you know, trying to get those mentors, whether they know they are your mentors or not, because we have mentors, we look up to them, but we haven't given them the formal title of being mentors. We just learn from them and follow them. But I also think that advocating for yourself is really important. And maybe I might get into the story when we get into the challenges.
Actually, I think this is the perfect time. So why don't we talk, because you know, we have people here who are doing really well in their careers, but I think it's helpful for you to know that it wasn't always like this, right? So let's get into the real talk. Like, let's hear some of the pitfalls and challenges.
So I'll tell a story about my career, maybe in the last 3-4 roles before I got into here. But even getting my first job in Ireland 10 years ago was a nightmare. And that's, you know, and a lot of us here would have faced that, where you're told you don't have the Irish experience or you are overqualified for a role. And, you know, navigating through all that and getting to a role where I now had to self-advocate for myself for promotion, even though the papers and the ratings were showing she was really good. So what I did was, you know, when I got the role, I fit in to stand out. So I fitted in with my teammates, you know, you got along with them, but also decided that I was going to stand out. So when people were giving out about, oh, we don't have these policies, we don't have this, because we don't have this, we can't do this. In my spare time, I created them. I was in a management role in Nigeria before I came here, even though I had to start from an entry-level role and grow up. So I knew it, and I had to use those skills. The opportunity has now arisen for me to actually use the skills that I taught, you know, coming into a new country. I was disadvantaged, right? So the opportunity came. So I created those policies, and I would go to my manager and go, hey, manager, just in case you were wondering, I've done this, I know you're busy, so I've created this. But the good thing is that my manager was also confident in herself. She didn't see me as a threat for her role. She actually saw me as a resource. So once I did that, she would go, okay, oh, Christy, I think you can do this. Do you have the time? And I just kept taking stuff. And you would think that when it was time for promotion, I would be promoted. No, no one ever came to me and said, I think you'd be great for that role. It didn't happen. I had to advocate for myself. So I understood my company. I knew where they were making money from. I knew what got the ball rolling. I knew the potential of the organization. I understood the growth trajectory. So I knew those leadership roles were coming. And I prepared myself. And then at the end of that performance cycle, I had an executive summary alongside with my performance score. And I said, hey, manager, remember when I did this, remember when I did that, remember when I did this, you know, I'm in this level, but this tax that I'm taking on is at this level and this level. And you know, in the market, recruiters are calling me. I love this company. I want to stay. I want to grow. And so, you know, this is just me, just so you know. That's how I got the first promotion. It wasn't handed to me. I had to go and put my case there. My manager then understood that this girl was really ambitious. Got that promotion, went back again. I gave myself another 2 years and I continued with taking this uptake because there was opportunity. And the second time I did the same thing all over. I wasn't going to wait for them to go import some skills in to do the job that I was already picking and doing as a side hustle and getting no pay for. So I did the same thing. And every time on in my previous company that I got promotion, I basically promoted myself. No one said, I think you'd be great for that. No, I promoted myself. But you have to be wise. You have to understand the system and play the system. You have to know victim mentality. I never once thought, oh, I'm Black, that's why they did this to me. Eyes on the ball, focused, I knew where I wanted. So I played with them, with the system, navigated all the politics, sometimes frustrating, but you get over it because you have a goal in mind. So that's how I promoted myself 2-3 times before I decided to make a move for my current role. So self-advocacy.
They did not see you coming. So Christy, do you think one of the big things on that is that there's potential that maybe they don't see and we don't push out there and promote?
Yes, there is unconscious bias. Everyone will go, but I treat people the same. I sit there and I talk to leaders and I actually point out this bias. I'll give another example. You know, I was looking at this particular employee group and I realized that there's this particular group that we recruited from India and their salaries were lower than the rest of the other employee group doing the same engineering role. And I asked my finance director and I'm like, why is this so? There's something going on here. I looked at the skills, looked at the competencies, looked at their job responsibility. Everything was the same. But why were they at least 10K lower than the others? The only common denominator there was we hired them from India and they were happy to take the job and I suppose that's where I look for rooms like that because I want to be in rooms like that and that's where I get to make impact. And I challenged them and I said, yes, I know they're happy, they left their country, they take whatever we give them because first of all, they're feeling grateful because they've left their country, but we can't continue like that because after you are training them, you're investing in them. After 1 year, they're going to leave you and the next company is going to hire them, pay them 20K more. So during the performance appraisal process, I challenge the leaders that I sit with and I say, we have to look at this. So that's a simple, blunted case of unconscious bias. No harm meant. It was an opportunity. These people are grateful to come into our country. We give them a job, they take it. They don't contest the salary. But until people that's why representation matters. So when I'm looking for those roles, it's not about the title or the position. It's so that I can be in those rooms and advocate for this kind of thing. So potentials are there, but unconscious bias actually snips in.
TT.
That is fantastic. Look, I think sometimes for my people, similar to the case you've highlighted, we're very humble people. So number one, we don't oversell ourselves because we might look arrogant. We undervalue ourselves, so we take salaries lower than we should demand. I find most of the people who know their value, they tell you how much they want. And if you can't pay it, they go elsewhere. It's that simple. That's the way the market works. I think what I wanted to highlight is similar to the point Christy highlighted. In your career journey, if you don't understand your value, I know that sounds like very basic. If you're grateful that you got on the plane and you came into this country and that's how happy you are, and getting a job is a bonus, you're totally disadvantaged from your own confidence. When you present yourself and the value that you're allowing people to put a value on you and you're not driving it. And we find it's more common than you realize. And that's why we are not seeing many, not just Black people, like I'll say from the Asian continent too. When I go into boardrooms, I'm not seeing you, I'm not seeing us there. And I don't think it's intentional. When I came here about 20 years ago, I remember there was one guy in the firm who was Nigerian, and I was so happy. I went, I met him out of 3,000 people, and glad to see this guy. And he spoke with a strong Dublin accent. I'm like, mate, where are you from? And he said, look, I'm from Nigeria, but my parents came here many years ago. I was born here and I grew up here. And I didn't see an African person for 2-3 months. That's 2004. And to be honest, I was feeling out of place. So I was looking around, trying to find someone that I could relate with and maybe tell them the challenges I was facing. And one of the guys in the office said, look, why are you spending so much time trying to find people who are like you? Yeah. If you want Zimbabweans, go back to Zimbabwe. And that's how you're going to actually connect here. So connect with the Irish system, with the people here, because it's their country. We might forget that sometimes. It's still their country and they're the majority. And what I found, and this is going to explain how I got into leadership, I found that when I started understanding GAA, this is very important for the Irish people. They didn't like soccer so much.
What's GAA?
They came up with 2 sports, GAA and hurling. And you come in and you just ignore that. Like, you have to connect with the culture and integrate and understand, okay, you talk about Mayo not winning GAA. I have a friend from Mayo, that's why I keep dissing them a little bit. So if you don't understand the history of GAA and you don't understand the sport, you don't understand what it means to the culture, they'll never also understand what's important to you because you're not reaching out to connect. What I found in the office as we transition is I started asking about the sport. They took me to the sport. I loved the sport. I enjoyed it. I even play it now. Well, not that good, but I do play it. And that gave me connections and access that I would never get, even if I had been here for 40 years. Where I live now, I know from the sergeant, from the priests, the guys who clean the streets, like the principals in the schools through GAA. I'm not saying everyone get into GAA, but I'm saying when you connect with the culture, it actually gets you into the network, and then they open up to you. Then when you're in the office, they can talk, oh, that TT guy, we went for a game with him. You should see how he cheered for Cox City. Dublin. So that is really important, and I really encourage you, instead of looking at what you don't have, look at what else can you do now to connect with the network. What events can you go and join? Ayanda mentioned it before, not just professional. Go to the tennis club down the road from you. Go to the rugby. Just go, listen, and then you can connect with people.
That's a great tip. Thank you very much. So we could go on forever. I'm going to have Ayanda bring us home on just a key tip that you would leave the audience with.
Okay. I guess maybe I'll give 2. They one in the same thing though, really, like, and it's very much kind of taking from what the 2 panelists here have said around. I think my one pitfall was giving
somebody else the driving seat of my journey and not allowing myself to own it in the very early stages of my career. So my big tip is that be the owner of your journey. Don't let other people tell you otherwise. You know where you want to go, and people will be there to mentor you, to coach you, to influence you, but ultimately you own that journey yourself. So you need to make that decision in terms of what your next step will be. And the other one would be, again, leaning back onto the people currency. Your biggest currency will be the people you know, the people you're connected to, the events that you attend, but also your own work. So being a self-advocate of your work, self-promoting yourself, and really positioning yourself in the best way possible so that your work speaks for itself. Yeah, those are the two currencies I'd say hold on to.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, Titi. Thank you, Ayanda. We could go on, but we won't. All right, so we're going to hand it back for questions. Oh, we have questions at the front.
Oh, okay.
Is your mic on?
Yes, it's on. Thank you for all of your testimonies. I have a questions. You stress on the importance to know what is your value in order to sell yourself in the job market. Can you give us a few actionable tips in order to efficiently negotiate your salary when a job offer is proposed to you?
Sounds like an HR.
I know. Don't tell them I told you though. So what's the role you're applying for? You have to do your own research. Do you know other people who are on that role? And again, what level? Because when you do get a job, there are different levels in the job. I mean, everyone could be, you could have 10 people called project engineers, right? But within that category, you have whether it's professional level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it can go on. So what level of role are you applying for? Keeping it simple, is it junior, intermediate, senior? And then what is the, I mean, I don't really believe, like, there's this popular one that they use. Geez, why is the name not coming to me? Where you can actually check salaries. But I don't really like it because a lot of the times it's aggrieved employees that go there and write, so you don't really get the truth. But you can talk to people within the same industry. Also understand the company size that you are applying into. Understand, that's why I say understand how they make money. A company that is 8 billion, a multinational like LinkedIn, is going to offer you more salary or money and benefits than a company that is indigenous. So you need to understand that. Then do your research, talk to people with those information behind, because you can't say, oh, well, in this company, they pay 50K. Why are they offering me 30K? Are they at the same level? It's one a multinational, it's one a small, medium-sized company. What's the revenue size? Are they deep pockets? So there are a lot of things, but ultimately I do know that in terms of salary ranges, it shouldn't be more than 5K tops. So you need to understand the role, the level, what other people are earning, and that's where you can cash in on networking, doing those Googles, using Haze to just get a general information and then deciding how you want to pitch your offer. Hope that was helpful.
Thank you very much for your reply.
Thank you to the panel for your insights. My name is Fola. My question is to Christy. It's on personal branding, and in this professional network, personal branding is important. What 3 qualities or strategies would you recommend in terms of personal branding that can elevate or like help career growth?
Okay, 3. I can't keep it to 3 because there are little things, and what applies to one may not apply to other. I'm sure by now you already know I like the word self-awareness, right? You must be aware. What do you want? What is your unique selling point? What is your strength? What do you want to be known for? It's a competitive market. Are you a specialist in this area? So you need to understand what you're bringing to the table, what you want to be known for. And then secondly, your online presence, your professional online presence. What are you doing with LinkedIn? What's your headline? What's your summary? Are you just liking and moving on? Or are you actually making comments, reposting with your own thoughts on the topics that that you've identified as your unique strength? You're not dabbling around, you're focused, right? And then think about building your thought leadership. So you've identified the strength, a value, and then begin to build your thought leadership there. Seek out opportunities to be in front of panel, free, give advice, do it for free before you know what's happening. People know you for that. Be consistent, be authentic. I know TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, and sometimes we have a different character in LinkedIn, you have another character in Instagram and TikTok. And you could be creative in TikTok and still use TikTok creatively, but you're consistent to that brand you want to be known for. Seek out get feedback from peers and colleagues for people that maybe have gone before you, because perception is what branding is, right? What you think of yourself may be different from what I think of you. So it's good to ask the questions. Hey, this is what I'm doing. What do you think? And I might give you a different perspective that you can work on and grow. So continuous learning, stay focused, and be patient, because it could take 1 year, it could take 5 years, but once you've identified what you want to be, what you need, then you just work everything in between.
Thanks, Christy. We have time for one more question.
Oh, hello. I just want to say thank you for sharing all your experiences with us. And it goes to everyone on the panel. I just wanted to ask, how do you deal with feeling out of place at work? And what tips would you have for a young professional? Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. I might be quite biased to this answer based on the organization or company that I work for, but really kind of finding like-minded individuals and people who look like you and similar to you. You'd be very surprised to realize and notice that there's a whole community of people that think like you. Doesn't even have to necessarily be ones that think like you, that look like you really. So what I've done is that I've opened myself up to just being open to talking and speaking to people. So, for lunch, for example, I'll try not to always sit with my team every single lunchtime, because those are the same people that I speak to over and over, and that's almost being, very safe. So I'll open myself up to sometimes sitting alone and seeing who's going to come with me, just being confident in yourself. And you'd be surprised to see how many people will actually approach you, come to you, come and say hi. Or I would randomly just go and sit with a stranger. Hi, can I join you? And you start a conversation. And to TT's point from earlier on, that's how you start to learn more about people, who they are, what they do, where they're going in life. And you start to kind of be also more open-minded in terms of other things that are happening outside of your own circle. So I'd probably say just try not to contain yourself in your group or circle of people that you know, because there's really a larger and wider pool of people out there who are willing to be friends, who are willing to be part of your community and to help you. But it's really baby steps. It's just a hello that you need to do, or just say, pretty outfit today, and the rest is history.
You can't go wrong with a pretty outfit.
Thank you, Ayanda. Well, so I guess, listen, if a Nigerian, a Zimbabwean, and a South African can do something good on a panel, then anything is possible. Congratulations for being such wonderful panelists. Thank you, all of you, for such great questions and for your time. And we will now hand it back.
Hi guys, this is Gracia from APNI. I'm actually a volunteer today, and I'm mainly taking care of the host and the panelists that will be joining us today. So my role here today has been an event coordinator. So all the panelists you guys have seen, it was me hosting them and kind of bringing them to the stage. Why is today so important? What APNI stands for is for the economic empowerment of our community. You know, we want to make a move. We want to be here. We want to make our money. We want to be able to take care of our family, take care of whoever we love. So this is why this event is so important today, for everybody to come and to kind of understand the importance of having a career, what it is to have like a path within that career. And we have so many people here that are here to inspire us. You can network with anybody here. We're coming from all walks of life today. So I hope you guys tune in. I hope you guys are gonna have a blast, like an amazing time, I would say. And yeah, that's what I have to say for it today.
It is very, very, very important. Okay, yeah. Diversity and inclusion is a very important pillar that should be emphasized in every single workplace. From my experience, I've worked in a predominantly white space as probably only like 3 Black women in the industry, and I remember how uncomfortable it was. I couldn't be myself at work. But in the current company that I am in right now, it's the most diverse I've ever been in any corporate setting. And in that situation, you're bound to be yourself and put your best foot forward when it comes to work. Also, it's a really important pillar for business development because you're included in amazing events just like this, where you can network, where you can bring out your brand awareness, which is so important too. And also just for the workplace to make everyone be their best versions of themselves so they can put their best foot forward and in turn have a great business.